What if the reason why your content isn't converting into paying customers and clients is because you don't actually know who you're talking to? See, the other day I was chatting with a client of mine, Alex, and this guy is absolutely smashing it on Twitter. He's also doing pretty well on Instagram as well. He's got a big following. And what's interesting about Alex is he's got the most incredible content, great brand, good looking guy, so like he's good on camera. But the problem with Alex is, despite having a few clients, he wasn't, the amount of likes he was getting, the amount of likes, views and stuff, it didn't translate proportionally into clients, right? So like I was thinking about Alex and I was like, do you know what? Do you know what's interesting is I need to think more about Alex and I need to think about more about my clients' problems so that I can make them better solutions. And that's when it really dawned upon me. I was like, I need to go deeper into my ICP. I need to go deeper. I need to understand the person I'm helping more. And once I started obsessing over the person I was trying to help, everything got a lot clearer. And I said to Alex, I said, look, here's a little worksheet to go and fill out. That's going to help you get clarity on who you're targeting. And I sent him that. And then that day he posted a Instagram reel about, well, which directly speaks to his ICP, because he went and started thinking about his target. And what was mad is that post generated like 19 leads or something like that in less than 24 hours. And it's because he led with the problem and the pains and the struggles that his audience is actually feeling. And the only way you can actually lead with the problem, the only way you can actually lead with, speak directly to the person you're trying to help, is by understanding them on such a deep level that every piece of content automatically speaks to them. It's not necessarily about, digging into people and shaming people and making people, like, triggering people. It's about showing that you understand what they're going through. And this is really, really important because when I look back on my journey and I look at the months and the periods where I was making the most money, right? And it was when I was, without a doubt, it was when I was speaking with my clients in the market the most. So I was actually like speaking with them, whether that was in DMs, whether that was like having regular calls with people I was working with, or it was times where I was, like leading with one specific problem and going after that. So with me, I've been on a hell of a journey. I've, really at my core, I'm a writer, but I'm also an entrepreneur. So I have to blend my skills together. I can't just be an artist all the time. I also have to put my marketer hat on, and I have to put my entrepreneur hat on and say, look, we're running a business. And so the biggest struggle for me over the last few years has been really just having the discipline to narrow in on one problem and say, I'm solving this. And the only way you know what problem to lead with is when, number one, you have to understand your target audience so well that every piece of content directly speaks to them. If it's not speaking to them, it's a lot of it is going to be noise, to be honest with you, and they're going to ignore it. But if your content is speaking directly to them, you don't have to be super over the top markety with it. You just have to speak about the things that are troubling them and the things that they care about and the things that they're trying to solve, and show that, basically position yourself and your content as the solution to the problem they're facing right now. That is number one. Number two is then thinking about your own path and thinking about your own journey and being like, what is the one thing that really, like, I've had to overcome, the thing that I've struggled with, right? Like for me, I'm just gonna be flat out, like, it's always been, I wanted to learn how to monetize my audience. I wanted to learn how to convert the audience I have And my biggest trouble was like, okay, I was getting engagement and I was getting, like, I was growing an audience slowly, but I really wanted to monetize it because I wanted out of, I wanted freedom. So I was like, I would rather have freedom with a small audience than, you know, be getting paid more money in a 9 to 5 and have no freedom, but have the golden handcuffs on. I guess golden handcuffs was always my biggest, like, I have quite a high price, I would say. Like, freedom's more important to me than security. Does that make sense? So for me, I was like, I'll do, as soon as I'm ready, I will monetize my audience. And I monetize my audience with about 1,500 followers. So for me, the struggle was always, how do I make the most out of what I've got? Because I'm living abroad. There's, I don't have the biggest audience in the world. I don't have a job that's allowing me to kind of like just keep growing my audience and keep building that up and keep building it up until the point where, I've got so many followers that it'd be unreasonable not to make money. I never had that. I always had that kind of like fear of, I've got to make this work. So that is why, and it's been ups and downs as well. But the one thing I keep coming back to is, what's the one problem I solve? It's monetization. Why? Because that's what's really important to me. Not because I want to be the richest man in the world, although, having money is great, and I don't think there's anything wrong with being a very rich man or woman. But it's about the freedom. So if I want to have the freedom and I want to have this lifestyle, monetization is at the core of it, So so when I look at, those two things, it's like, okay, what are my audience's problems and pains? What are they going through? And then what is the one problem that I've been so focused on solving for myself? Because the chances are that second piece, the problem you've been so focused on solving for yourself, the thing that kind of like once that's working, everything's good, that is what you lead with. So I guess this is a two-sided piece of content. The first side of this content is, I'm saying you need to understand your target audience so well, and you need to go deep as possible into their pains, their problems, their desires, their dreams. You've probably heard this before. This is quite common marketing advice, but I need to hit it home. If you don't do this, your content will fall flat on its face, and you will never get conversions. That's number one. Number two is, you need to look at your own journey and be like, okay, so I know they have all these pains, all these problems, all these desires. How do I map my journey and my struggles and the problem that I obsessed over solving onto my target audience, and then lead with just one of those things? So for example, with me, there's lead generation, there's not knowing what content to post, there's sales calls, there's offers, there's all these like different problems. It's like, okay, like there's so many problems in not knowing what funnel to use, not knowing how to DM people, not knowing how to write long form, not knowing how to write hooks, all of these problems. It's like, okay, which ones matter most to they all matter to my ICP, but which ones is most important to me? Like, what's the one thing that I really struggled to overcome, and once that changed, it changed everything? And for me, it was monetization, because it got me this life. I was writing great hooks and I was getting engagement, and I knew what to write, so to speak, to get attention, and I knew how to build a product and stuff like that. And I knew how to build a community and all these things, but like I didn't really know how to monetize it. So when I learned how to monetize it, everything changed for me. So conversions became really important. So I'm just hitting home the point that you need to take all of the problems and pains that your audience has, go, okay, and this is how I worked it out. I'm like, okay, I turn all of those into solutions. They have become basically the things that I help people with. So all their problems, I turn those into solutions and then give them the solutions. And then I go, okay, so which of these problems do I want to lead with? If it's monetization, I'm probably going to be focusing on offers. I'm going to be focused on and focused on how to sell. the offers and what content converts. So it's like basically it's converting attention into revenue, not necessarily getting attention, not necessarily doing like ins and outs like sales jujitsu. None of that. I'm somewhere in between. How do we convert attention into revenue? So that is why conversion is my thing. I hope this makes sense. You need a thing. And I realized this lately because I've been a bit all over the shop, to be honest with you. And it was when Alex went and implemented my advice, which he does amazingly, to be honest with you. I've never met someone that executes as fast as him. No wonder he has like over 150,000 followers. So it takes someone like Alex. They took Alex actually implementing it, leading with the problem in his content, generating 19 leads in something like 24 hours, and boom, you know? So in the future, you can expect content from me that's a lot more monetization based, and probably a little bit based, actually. Monetization based, but also, more direct on the problem I'm solving. And it'll get to the point where I won't even have to tell you, from here on out, I don't even need to tell you anymore that this is the problem I'm solving. You'll just know it. Because if you want to get paid for being yourself, there's a crucial part here, and it's the getting paid part, And that is what gives you the freedom. So conversion, if your content is not converting, you need to understand your target audience better. Then you need to take your own journey, the one thing that was most important for you solving, the thing you struggled to solve, and then when you solved it, everything changed. Put those together, boom, that is your thing. And you lead with that problem. And that is going to, and when you put that into your content, you're going to find automatically your content's going to start converting a lot more. There's so many more things that lead to conversions, which I want to share with you, but I can't do that in one video. But that's like, if I was to say the one mindset shift you need, it's, yes, enjoy the content you create. Like I'm big on creating content that you would like to consume, but I'm also a fan of conversions and without the conversion part, like you're going to stop enjoying the content anyway. So there's so much more I can share with you about how to convert your audience into revenue and how to convert even a small audience into revenue. Like the big thing for me is I was able to convert a 5,000 person audience into $15,000 a month. Like I hit 15K a month with just 5,000 followers. So I know how to get the most out of something small. That's again why conversion is my thing. So if you're interested in learning more about this kind of stuff, there's a link down below to join my email list. I was on Substack recently, but then I realized, it's really hard to get the volume of messages out to my audience here when it's in this blog format. So I'm still going to be sending you emails more regularly. 5 to 6 times a week, and there's a link down below to join that list. That's basically where I'm going to share with you how I scaled my personal brand to 15K a month with 5,000 followers, how I'm helping Alex generate 19 leads in 24 hours, how I helped Connor scale his brand from $0 a month, zero, to 13K a month in 4 months, and then now he's making up to 45K a month. So I'm going to share all this in those letters, with a bit of a funny twist. I like to entertain a little bit. Educate, inspire, entertain. You're going to get all of that inside that list. So just go and join that. I share everything there. And you can also learn about how I might be able to help you in a more intimate setting as well. I have some things going on which I share with you inside that list. So don't hesitate, click the link, go join that list. I'll see you there. And finally, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.